5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Welcome to the show, people. Welcome to the show.
Eat my shorts.
So here is to conversation.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Welcome to the Cash Exchange.
What up?
All right, so to preface this, the through line that I have today is a little bit reachy.
I'm ready.
So what do Grandpa Simpson monologues, the show Ancient Apocalypse, and asking a kid what they did today have in common?
They're stories that people feel compelled to exaggerate on.
Yep.
And that people that care about them care way too much about them. And the people listening don't care at all. Want it over with.
I think there are a lot of people that care about, okay, maybe not Grandpa Simpson's monologues, but the other two.
Ancient Apocalypse?
Yeah.
Got the thing on Netflix?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hulu? One of them. I don't know. It's on a streaming service.
Where he talks about the world ended and then it rebirthed.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah. With Graham Hancock.
Yes.
Yeah, I watched like the first episode. It was about some step pyramids or something.
Mm-hmm. The ones out in like Thailand?
Yeah, something like that. And then no, I've been on the receiving end of, hey, what'd you do today? And it just being a litany of unnecessary details and just rambling on and on and on.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like I was at I did my first Black Friday sit outside the store of, and probably
Camp out?
yeah, I guess camp out, in probably about 16, 15 years, something like that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And I was outside of a Lowe's because you got
Weird choice.
you got a free bucket. The first 25 people got a free bucket full of swag.
Okay.
Was it worth it? Yeah. There's a free bucket of stuff. I mean, there's screwdrivers, a coupon.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I get there at 3 o'clock. There's one other car in the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
Just me and this dude. We're just sitting there, pretty much just playing chicken. And then another car pulls in, and then all of a sudden the guy in the first car gets out and walks up to the store and goes and sets up his little chair and sleeping bag. And yeah, gets all settled in. And then I'm just sitting there doom scrolling on my phone. And I look over at him, and all of a sudden he's on the ground. And it's like low 30s outside on concrete, laying on the ground and just like looking like he's about to head to bed. And so I walk up with my chair and I go and set it down. And he says, "Hey man, how's it going?" And I'm like, not bad. And instead of this man saying, well, maybe, he said, "Oh, not too bad," or something along those lines. He was like, "Bad? What's going on? What happened?" Complete stranger. I mean, on one hand, like, good for him. Good for him for having compassion for this guy that he doesn't know. But also, a little strange. A little strange that you would think that some stranger would walk up to you and say, "Oh, man, thank God you asked how I'm doing, because it is not good."
To be fair, if I'm a complete stranger and I ask you how you're doing and you give me a legitimate response, I want to know.
Yeah. I think things have to be going horribly wrong for that person for them to feel the need to offload it onto a stranger.
Absolutely. And generally speaking, I want to know. Either you're going to get something out of it and you had some kind of catastrophe and that's why you said you're doing bad, in which case I can help. Maybe.
Okay, can you help? Okay, this
listen. I don't know.
complete stranger walks up to you and says, "Yeah, I'm not doing too hot. I found out I have cancer today, stage 4. So that's my day. How's your day going?" And that's what you are willing to take on.
Yeah.
I think that's a load of bull poopy. I don't think you want
I'm
that.
a people pleaser. I would do it whether or not it was bad for me.
I don't think you want that. Okay, I completely steamrolled your intro.
Grandpa Simpson, Ancient Apocalypse, asking kids what they did today. You were right. That went a little further than I thought it would, but you were right. So they're full of long, drawn-out stories with a lot of creative liberties. Which brings us to our topic for today, biopics. I do want to say that the original take for this episode did get deleted, but there has been a lively debate as to whether it is biopic or biopic. I'm still on the fence.
I think we settled on biopic.
We did, but I think biopic also just sounds better. I'm not going to use it, probably, but
See, our conundrum this first go around was that if you refer to it as a biopic, you're referring to it as a biographical picture. And we think that anyone that refers to a movie as a film or a picture is a douche.
sure, but I don't understand. Sure, but I don't understand how biopic doesn't do that, because it's still pick. It's not as aggressive, but it's still pick.
Because it just rolls off the tongue in one swoop. It's not biopic. It seems like biopic needs to be hyphenated. There needs to be an intentional space.
It's biopic.
You need to hold space.
I'm throwing that one in there. It's biopic.
Okay.
All kinds of random stressing.
I mean, yeah, that's fine. I mean, whatever gets you there. I think I have a habit of hearing biopic, and thinking it's about a musician. It's someone deciding that the coffers are running a little thin, and so we need to shove out another product to remind the people that this person existed. If you get a movie out there and it gets any kind of buzz whatsoever, then you're going to get bumps in all other aspects of being able to capitalize on that person, like the streams, which I mean I know are pennies and no one buys music anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that these, especially the musical ones, are a lot more profitable back then than they are now.
Sure.
But then there's like all the merchandise, all the other stuff. It just has a lot of tendrils that make it very enticing for someone who really just has to say to a production company, "Hey, make this movie. We'll give you permission, and give us that sweet, sweet cheddar."
So this was probably I don't know if it was a good or a bad episode for me to take the lead on, because I realized somewhere in my research that I hate biopics.
Yeah.
I am adamantly opposed to them. And there are a couple of good ones that like are probably rewatchable, not from a like this is this person's life perspective, but just in a like fun movie kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot stand biopics because they always feel like a just gross cash grab in the same way that prequels, sequels, and reboots do.
Yeah. That
like, especially for like the new Amy Winehouse movie that they just put out, Back to Black. First of all, there's too many of them at this point. We know as much of the story as there could possibly be since she has been dead for some time now.
Part of the 27 Club.
Yeah. And it's just so sleazy that they will not just let her die. Her voice was incredible. She will still have a legacy one way or the other. But you don't need to keep rehashing this story and make it about this same tabloid nonsense that she dealt with in her actual life. Like this is not serving to do anything beneficial to her or her legacy.
Yeah.
It's gross. And I think a lot of, especially the musician ones, a lot of these biopics are just a little nauseating, even if the product that it comes out to be is good.
Yeah, I think that is definitely, because like I said before, the biopic that is based on a musician, like there's so many other areas that affects and other ways to make money off of it.
Mm-hmm.
So those, just from a wanting to make money standpoint, I understand. But like ones like there's been like 3 Steve Jobs biopics, and the dude was a major asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he started Apple and then got ousted and then got brought back. But They want to tout him as like this gigantic visionary that just did all these things and the reason that we have computers in our pockets now, but that's just not true. And I don't remember which one it is. There's Kutcher, there's Fassbender,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's one more. I think it's a dude from 21.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's that dude, and I'm pretty sure he's the main dude in the third one that I'm thinking of.
Whenever we were looking at, or I was looking at the biopics
Mm-hmm.
that were not music, I came into this weird kind of like gray area, and I don't know that I know what the parameters of a biopic are. Because like I was talking to Nate about what was it? American Sniper
Mm-hmm.
biopic. I feel like that one's pretty cut and dry. But we were talking about like does it have to be like the person's whole life for it to be a biopic? Or could it be like The Social Network, where it's about Zuckerberg and about the founding of Facebook, but it's just kind of this like snapshot kind of his life. It's not biographical.
And very
It's just
skewed
very
one
narrow.
way.
All of these are.
Yeah.
Depending on what kind of legacy you're trying to paint for any of these people.
That's something we talked about in the last one, was to be mindful of watching these things and knowing that documentaries, biographies, biopics, all this stuff has an agenda.
Yeah.
All this stuff is made to favor the people that are going to make it profitable.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the reasons you get these movies, these Steve Jobs movies that really glaze over what a terrible father and just kind of nasty human being he was.
One of the grossest, I think, misrepresentations of a person in a biopic, which again, a lot of gray area. I'm not 100% sure if this would be considered a biopic. The Greatest Showman.
Hey, that's what I have on here.
P.T. Barnum was a monster.
And an Uggo. Looked nothing like Hugh Jackman.
Okay, but
Had a big
everyone's an
bulbous
Uggo.
nose and...
Everyone is an Uggo to Hugh Jackman.
That's
I think we're pretty people, but we're not Hugh Jackman pretty people.
I'd take Ryan Gosling over the Gosman over Hugh Jackman.
Sure.
Definitely no Glenn Powell.
I'm just saying you can't use that as your bar.
Were Gosling and Powell on the last go of this? Or was it? I don't think it was on this one. So I'm just name dropping Glenn Powell and Ryan Gosling for no reason, with no context. Is fair. They're very beautiful men, and I can say that and have absolutely no questions about my sexuality because of it.
I cannot decide if I think that Glenn Powell is attractive. I've seen him in a number of things now, and I can never decide if I think he's attractive. The capybara thing, I think it's a deal breaker.
He was definitely a weird-looking kid.
Sure.
In Spy Kids.
I'm sorry, he was in Spy Kids?
You didn't know he was in the Spy Kids 3D?
What?
Yeah.
Man, who wasn't in that movie?
Which was also filmed at the Six Flags right up the street.
Oh, did not know that either. I need to rewatch Spy Kids 3.
No, you don't. You really don't.
No, I absolutely do.
You should watch Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
I do love Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
And look at the
Taylor
cutting edge CGI.
With George Lopez.
That was that Shark Boy and Lava Girl? Or was
so.
that No, you're right, yeah.
Where he was the
Was
teacher.
he also in Spy Kids?
I don't think so. That was
Machete.
Stallone was the bad guy.
Yeah, you're right.
Which, again, crazy pull.
Well, it's because of Robert Rodriguez.
Who?
Robert Rodriguez. From Dusk to Dawn. Grindhouse.
Nope.
Good friends with Tarantino.
Okay.
So I think the Tarantino connection is probably what got him the...
Is Stallone a Tarantino guy?
I mean, I think anyone that thinks they can get close to Tarantino is going to take that opportunity.
Sure, yeah.
How do you not know?
I'm not understanding the 6 degrees of separation here.
Yeah, Spy
Oh,
Kids
it's
from Dusk
the-
to Dawn, Machete, El Mariachi, Sin City, Sin City 2.
Sure.
No, okay. Well, I mean he's in with he's Texas born.
Yeah.
Yeah, does a lot of Mexican American movies. A lot of Antonio Banderas, Danny Trejo.
Okay.
Those kind of people.
It's crazy that this man got at Rodriguez on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm surprised you've never heard of him.
I mean, I hadn't seen any of the things that he's been
Oh,
on.
they have a production company together.
Oh. Cool.
No, he's very respected. Hey, UTE, 1991.
Hook 'em horns.
Any hoozle.
I don't remember where we were at before that little segue. Oh, P.T. Barnum.
P.T. Barnum, yeah.
Was a monster.
He was, yeah. And they definitely...
They just put this sunshiny vignette over the whole story.
But no, P.T. Barnum, Ugo, very... honestly, I don't even know, like, a whole bunch about him besides that he was, like, a terrible person. What was her name? The black lady.
The 161-year-old he theoretically...
Yeah, the slave.
Leased, which was an insane thing that I read in the research for this episode. Joyce Heth.
She wasn't actually a slave, was she?
No, I think it was a kind of gray area. So he like was still able to buy her somehow. I don't remember the logistics behind it, but it was horrifying.
Huh. Yeah, and then after she died, he charged people to see her autopsy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, Hugh. Where was that part in the movie?
Hugh Jackman is wrong for that.
Why'd you flinch saying that?
Because I was gonna say Hugh Jackman can do no wrong, but this was a weird choice.
Oh yeah? Oh yeah? Why don't you ask the divorce courts in Down Under?
Yeah.
I think that they would probably think that Mr. Hugh can do a lot wrong.
She was a beard. No one can convince me otherwise.
So now he's free to be with Ryan?
Yeah.
Huh.
I would support Blake also being a beard. She annoys the hell out of me.
Oh, me too. Me too. Speaking of Ryan, okay, so this is from our last recording, but you are a Mint Mobile customer.
I am.
And every year you get some sort of a gift from Mr. Reynolds.
Yes.
Have you ever gotten a sample of the garbage makeup that Blake Lively peddles, especially when she is doing interviews for a movie about domestic violence?
I could go on for quite some time about how dumb everything around It Ends With Us is. Read the book. Have not yet watched the movie. Probably will at some point. But does she do makeup? I thought it was just a hair care thing.
It might be hair care.
So Blake Brown Beauty, that's her like Target hair care line. And the long story short version of the stuff that annoys me with her and all of the It Ends With Us stuff is that everyone in the like promotional videos for Blake Brown Beauty looks so much worse coming out of the video than going in. It's insane. Like, you can tell her entire brand is just, hey, I'm Blake Lively, so you should buy this. Because all of the like pictures and stuff that they put out where it's Blake Lively and her hair, it looks so frizzy and damaged. Like that's not what a hair ad should look like. You're buying it because it's Blake Lively and not because it is any kind of quality.
And you're buying it because it's Blake Lively because she's married to Ryan Reynolds?
Yes. Because I don't think that she would really have much going on other than that. I think she's a Nepo baby.
That would make sense.
I think that's where she got her start, was she was a Nepo baby.
Yeah, because that's going to be its own whole episode. But she definitely has that vibe about her that she didn't have to work to where she got. It
would be a really long segue, but the the difference between the way that It Ends With Us was promoted before it came out versus like Woman of the Hour with Anna Kendrick
Mm-hmm.
is so stark, and it's so impressive what Anna Kendrick did. Have you been following any of the drama on either side?
Mm-mm. I know what the story is. Like, I know about Rodney Alcala.
Yeah. Well, so Anna Kendrick directed and starred in Woman of the Hour.
Mm-hmm.
And she said going into it that she didn't want it to be like her profiting off of this gross thing that happened. And so all of the money that she would have made for the movie went to, I think it's RAIN or something. It's an acronym that I don't remember the name of. Yes, she donated her pay to RAIN, which is the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network.
Oh.
Whereas Blake Lively used the entire press tour to say, "Wear your florals" to the movie.
Yeah, that's...
And it was just this like sunshiny thing that she didn't even touch on the fact that it was a very serious topic.
Yeah. Yeah, and then whenever she got pressed, she would act offended that you would dare ask her about DV and what this would mean for women who have survived it. And it also didn't help that other interview came out with her and Parker Posey.
Yeah. I mean, she's always given off the biggest mean girl energy.
Yes.
But it was so ridiculous when they asked her what she would say to like a domestic violence like victim, and she was like, "Oh, do you want me to just like give them my phone number? Take them home with me? Like, what do you want from me?"
That's psycho behavior.
We're not suggesting you become a therapist, but like I feel like
there's a little responsibility that comes with making money off of this movie especially off of with that theme.
Yeah, no, it was just gross throughout the whole thing, and then she used it as a way to just like promote Blake Brown beauty, which again, not the point of any of it.
And you know what that is?
What?
That is
wrong. I'm so excited we got to use that little soundbite.
So,
circling all the way back.
During my course of research, this is something that I'm sure a lot of people who have done any kind of spend any time on YouTube watching like list videos or anything like that has run across what is generally touted as the earliest biopic, and that is pertaining to Joan of Arc, a French silent film from the year 1900.
Mm-hmm.
A full 39 years, 39
Before
years
Wizard of Oz?
before The Wizard of Oz. Which, have you seen that yet?
Wicked? No.
Yeah.
I'm going to wait until it's out of theaters. I don't want to be in a theater that involves singing.
Well, it's cute when it's your niece or nephew doing it.
No, it's not.
Oh.
I love them, but no thank you.
Oh. Wow. Okay. Anyways, Joan of Arc, 1900. Started this whole thing before there was even sound. We were making movies about people. How accurate do you think that one was?
I couldn't possibly imagine all of the detail that had to, all the practical effects and stuff. Because they burned her at the stake, didn't they?
They sure did. Hey, there was also one with
Mila Jovovich.
And this girl, this 90s it girl, Lily Sabrinsky.
I have no idea who that is.
Oh, that's because you only lived for 11 months of the 90s.
Oh.
But she was everywhere.
What happened to her?
Joan of Arc or Lily?
Lily.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure she's off living her best life somewhere. Let's see. There's also one in 2019. And then it's a musical / war movie. 2 hours and 18 minutes.
So it was Les Mis before Les Mis was cool? After Les Mis? I didn't see what the year on that was.
Was what before Les Mis?
The musical war movie of Joan of Arc. 2019, so that would have been way after Les Mis.
Let's
This is 1928.
Oh, man. I want the one from 1900. Man.
I like the crepe
George.
paper flames.
George Malaise was he was busy. Director, writer, producer, and starred in it. Oh, it's 10 minutes.
Yeah, do you know how long that shit took back
Language. Silent.
then? I thought you were calling me for saying shit.
Language. Silence. So yeah, I mean, if you can find this on YouTube or something, I'm sure it's there. Give it a watch. It's only 10 minutes of your life. It's the one that kicked off all this chicanery.
This
Joan
dude.
of Arc, 1900, is the reason that we got Walk Hard. Can you imagine
Dewey
that?
Cox story?
The Dewey Cox
Oh.
story. Which brings me into my next part of this conversation is parody biopic. I love them more than
Than the actual
biopics.
ones. Yeah.
Yes.
To be fair, I'm a big fan of John C. Reilly and Andy Samberg, so Pop Star Never Stop, Never Stopping is high on the list.
I think Weird, the Al Yankovic story, surprised me. I thought it was going to be bad, just like unwatchably bad, but it was pretty good.
It was fun. I wouldn't rewatch it.
I probably wouldn't either. But, no, I take that back. I would rewatch it. It's a nonsense movie
Mm-hmm.
that you can just put on while you're doing something else. Or
Yeah. Well, I would also have to get one of those like ridiculous one-off streaming services.
Tubi?
Tubi, Pluto,
No,
Roku.
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 Oh, yeah, Roku.
It was a Roku movie.
Yeah. Stop with the streaming services, people. Just bow down to Netflix, Disney Plus, Max, and just stop it.
I was having a conversation with a coworker the other day about Gary Busey. And Gary Busey just put out a show, not just put out, it was during COVID, but I just found out that he had a show called Pet Judge on Amazon Prime.
Huh.
And also Pluto, but you have to pay for it on Amazon Prime. So I just downloaded Pluto. And now I have another streaming service. At least this one's free, but
Is it any good?
it's
As good as a Gary Busey show can be?
It's so funny because I think everyone involved knows what's happening and is an actor, but I don't think Gary Busey knows that this is just nonsense. So like the first episode is this couple deciding what's going to happen to their dead cat.
Mm-hmm.
The husband wants to have a Viking funeral in his community's pond.
Very honorable, yeah.
Yeah, naturally. And the wife wants to put the cat in their family's pet mausoleum. And so they're having this like conversation with a super straight-faced Gary Busey about what is going to happen to their cat, Mousy Tongue.
Mousy Tongue?
Mousy Tongue.
Huh.
Which is a weird pun.
Yeah.
Mao Zedong is a real weird choice.
Huh.
But yeah, definitely recommend it. I don't recommend getting Pluto, but if you already have it, watch it. Pet Judge.
Interesting. Honestly, boggles my mind that Walk Hard and Pop Star Never Stop, Never Stopping, I guess. So we would have to do the parentheses on Walk Hard too if we're gonna.
Dewey Cox story.
So Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story, and Pop Star Never Stop, Never Stopping have no right having such catchy songs.
Sure, yeah.
Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story, has Walk Hard, let's duet in ways that make us feel good. Take My Hand, where it's a song about holding hands and everyone's losing their minds.
It's time to rewatch Walk Hard.
You Got to Love Your Negro Man. That was in his Delta Blues era. Walk Hard. But yeah, I mean, there's Guilty as Charged. That's another good one.
Yeah.
There's just a bunch of really well-written, catchy songs in this movie, like that were made as a joke, but they're good. And then the same thing with Pop Star. It's got Mona Lisa. I'm So Humble. That's like one of my all-time favorite, like super catchy songs. Like if I hear it, it gets stuck in my head for like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
Equal Rights, where he's making fun of Macklemore.
I don't know if I remember that one.
Yeah, it's the whole time he's singing about how he just wants the gays to have everything that straight people have, and he wants marriage equality and all this stuff, but then he's also saying not gay. And he's talking about all the super manly stuff that he likes to reassure the audience that he's not gay.
Yeah.
Turn Up the Beef, Finest Girl, the Bin Laden song.
That one gets stuck in my head fairly often.
There's a full album of this. Popstar has 28 songs. Walk Hard has...
I like that Weird Al's eBay was your most recent.
Yeah, I mean, kids are obsessed with it. I'm glad I got them on the Weird Al train, but sometimes that's a lot. It's a lot of Weird Al.
We listened to a lot of it the other day.
30.
Lord.
I guess for a soundtrack, for a movie soundtrack isn't bad, but again, these are songs that were specifically written for this movie.
Yeah.
And it's just 2 great movies. If you haven't seen them, check them out.
On the sort of same subgenre of biopics, would you consider like The Wolf of Wall Street an actual biopic? It's basically just a comedy. Like there's some aspect of like the actual life of Jordan Belfort, but would you consider that a biopic?
Well, and Jordan Belfort is a unreliable narrator. So I think that, because was he a producer on the movie?
I think so.
Yeah. So I think that as far as things being heavily fictionalized and exaggerated, I think you can still consider it a biopic just because it is loosely based on the life of someone. But I think that you would have to go into it with the understanding that this dude is he's one of those hey bro watch this kind of guys, and so that's going to be a heavy influence in the way that the movie is portraying him, especially if he has something to do with it, especially if he is a part of the actual production of the movie.
I think the only exceptions that I really have to not liking biopics is the ones where the actual artist has a kind of creative hand in the thing. Not necessarily in the Jordan Belfort being able to sway the narrative the way that he did. But in like Rocket Man, the movie about Elton John, or the ones that are about to come out, I think, the one with Robbie Williams with the apes.
Which, that one and
Pharrell's Piece by Piece.
Yeah, those are 2 I want to talk about later.
I love those because it feels like it's an extension of the actual person and not just a gross cash grab. I think the creative direction that you get to have whenever you're in control and not just trying to put forth this very specific narrative I think that's cool. I think it's worth a watch at least once.
Yeah, I think that we've gotten very jaded to, especially the musical biopics, and now we have to dress them all up for the same result. It's like, if you didn't know, Robbie Williams is huge in the UK, and he has a movie coming out about his life that the entire time he is portrayed as a chimp, a CGI chimp, but everyone else around him is a human. So it's like I don't know, I guess it's just to exemplify that he's different than everybody else.
So I was actually looking into specifically Better Man, which is the Robbie Williams biopic, and the idea for having a chimp be like the protagonist was because he has a song called Monkey and Me that was supposed to represent his cocaine addiction and his like the hard road to recovery, essentially. And so it became just kind of synonymous with the way that he saw himself.
As a monkey?
Yeah.
But he's a chimp.
Sure.
Isn't he a chimp in the movie?
I don't know.
What's the difference? Monkeys have tails. He doesn't have a tail in the movie, I don't think.
Maybe it was ducked. I don't know, man. That wasn't the...
I do like that, though, that there's a reason for it. So that makes it a little better. But still, at the same time, it's just, I don't know. It feels like it's needlessly dressed up. That and Pharrell Williams having to tell his story through Legos. Like, if your story isn't compelling enough to tell on its own, then I don't think dressing it up in Legos is going to make it any better. And throwing in 50,000 cameos.
There are a bunch of cameos in it?
And yeah.
I think with Pharrell's, it was a little bit different because it sounded like his goal was to get this kind of broader audience because his music is mostly for kids, from everything at least I know about Pharrell. It's like happy and like Despicable Me soundtrack kind of vibes, even if it's not the song Happy. And so
Blurred lines.
still for a younger crowd, probably shouldn't have been, but
Even with all the boobies?
and the
All
problematic
the Radikowskis swinging around in the videos?
I don't know.
Rajada. Was it
I
Radikowski?
think it's Rajakowski.
Radajakowski?
I don't know. But I think what his thing was that he wanted to try to appeal to a broader audience by making it something that was more approachable than your typical biopic. So we wanted to make it fun so that kids could watch it and be interested in what they typically wouldn't be. So a biopic, and that the adults would be interested in watching it.
Okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Whatever. Still, I don't think that it's... Yeah, if you need to dress it up, it's all that great. But maybe I'm wrong. We haven't seen them. I'll check both of them out. I like Pharrell Williams. Brad Paisley and Robbie I just realized they're both Williams. Brad Paisley and Robbie Williams did a song over the closing credits in Cars 2.
Collision of Worlds.
Yes.
I loved that song.
And so that's the only that is the only thing I know about Robbie Williams, other than he's huge in the UK.
Okay, so moving forward, what biopic would you like to see?
Okay, so this is something we've discussed already. And to my knowledge, it hasn't been attempted. Some might say that's probably for the best, but I would love to see a Michael Jackson biopic.
Yeah.
Just for the sheer curiosity of whether they would go with a black actor or a white actor, or a black actor in the beginning and then put him in whiteface. Because they can't. They can't do a white actor in blackface for the beginning, and then.
If it's a kid, it's not as problematic, right? Is it more problematic?
I don't think. Can you imagine? Some kid getting the breakout role of his lifetime? Just he can say, "Mama, I finally made it. I made it. I'm in the big times, Mama." And then 10 years down the road, he's working as an accountant somewhere, and then he gets canned because he did kid blackface in a Michael Jackson biopic.
God. I mean, I think there's a lot of reasons we won't see a Michael Jackson biopic. Casting choices. Man, that would be a tough one.
I would applaud whoever had the balls to take that on.
Yeah?
Like, no matter which way it went, there's no way it's not going to be an absolute train wreck.
What if halfway through it switches to be Miranda Cosgrove? That is my pick for the Michael Jackson biopic.
So you think it'll be like a conceptual thing? Kind of like the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus. You know what that is?
Yes.
It's the final movie that Heath Ledger was doing when he died.
Mm-hmm.
And so he died halfway through production, and Jude Law, Johnny Depp, and one more person stepped in to his role to help finish the movie. So what if we just...
Colin Farrell.
There we go. What if we just Dr. Imaginarium'd it? And so you just had these...
We're all Michael Jackson.
These very obviously different people that would, like, you had a little, I don't know, what black child actor right now.
Caleb McLaughlin, kid from Stranger Things. I don't know very many kid actors. I mean, he's not a kid.
What if I had said, what about some white kid actors? I bet you could name those off till the cows come home.
I can name the kids that are in Stranger Things, and that is the extent of them.
Wow.
And they're all like 22 now. One of them, 11's married now, so.
The Drake?
No. I think she got too old.
No, hey, speaking of Michael
Baby
Jackson.
Bon Jovi.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Speaking of Michael Jackson.
Yeah, because Millie Bobby Brown was too old for Drake.
Oh.
Okay, so yeah, what if you just did that? What if you just had a little black kid actor, and then you move, and just maybe, I don't know, you just run the whole spectrum. Maybe after black you go to
It's
Middle
like,
Eastern. Maybe after Middle Eastern you go Eastern Asian, and then after Eastern Asian you just go straight white.
it's there's a whole Michael Jackson video about this concept. Black or white? The whole music video is the person morphing into a different genders, different races, different.
Like music video?
Yeah.
Of his?
Yeah. I think so.
Like it don't matter if you're black or white. That one?
Yeah. Isn't that what that one is? Am I thinking of a different movie or a different music video?
I forgot about the Latinos. Sorry, guys. Okay, so you'd have to go black, then
Please
to
don't
Middle
figure
Eastern,
out the spectrum here.
and then Latino, Latin, no, they don't like that. Latino, and then from Latino you go Eastern Asian, and then from Eastern Asian you go to straight up Wonder Bread.
I didn't know Macaulay Culkin was in the music video for the song.
So I mean, I've got this rainbow right, correct?
Sure.
Black, Middle Eastern, Latino, Eastern Asian, honky,
Yes.
cracker. What should I call him? Ghost. Oh yeah, I've seen this. Ooh.
That would be the whole movie.
That was
That's
a
what I'm
hard
pitching.
transition.
That's what I think the whole movie should be. And it's just
People morphing.
there was a point in the middle of this last transition where that person looked like Obama.
Now listen here.
And on that note, I think that's all I got for this episode.
So we're just gonna do some transition into every ethnicity throughout the entire movie. Will they have to wear a sign say, "Hey, this is Michael"?
No. One glove.
Oh, yeah. Even as a child,
Yes.
even as an infant,
Mhm.
just.
You can
Cuckoo
keep
Kaka.
him. You could keep him one person as a kid, and then he goes through all
Then
of
he
the
starts
transition
going
of
to
trying
the
to,
rainbow.
and you're trying to figure out who he is.
Hmm.
That was like his whole problem for all of his life was the Peter Pan syndrome.
This idea is copyrighted by us, and as soon as this goes live, you've been notified that this is our idea. Don't steal it. If you do, you have to license it from us for a pretty hefty licensing fee.
Yeah.
So don't do it. We'll sue. We'll sue you. We got nothing to lose. And on that note,
We're here until the precedented times come back.
and remember, treat others as if one day someone's going to make a movie about you. And they're able to faithfully adapt your life to film and not have to cut out all the times you were a raging asshole. All right. See ya.
So.